Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in on the progress of the M1 Grand drill rifle stocks. What I have here are both stocks, and they have both undergone 3 coats of the Situ Strip. In between that, I have wiped them down with a damp cloth to remove all of the leftover remnants of the Situ Strip. And then after a little bit of drying time, I've taken a light wire brush, so like almost a large toothbrush type of deal, and just gone over the grain trying to get that last little bit out. After that, I soak the stalks down with another damp cloth and just try to lift the rest of that contaminant out of there. As you can see here, this is stock number 1. Those are the numbers in the back. I've taken a toothbrush and just kind of scrubbed them in. You can see some of the hard dents in the actual stock wood. Here's a little bit of staining from oil or hand residue. This is also the grip area where a lot of that dark oil staining had occurred. You can see a lot more dings here. The toe of the stock has been bashed against the ground, so that's just kind of chipped up. Here's the beautiful grain on the buttstock. Just some little cankers on the back there. You can see I haven't really messed with the barrel channel too awful much. I just did a couple coats in there, just trying to get a little bit of the contaminants out. One thing you'll notice with these rifle stocks is if you have any errors in it, you're going to see things like this crack. This is the handguard that had the dark brown paint across it. You can see the crack is a little highlighted here. I let these set out for a while to just dry off without too fast. You can see a couple little chips in there. What I'll probably end up doing is just breaking that in half and then glassing it back together. Here's the Ford handguard. You can also see a lot of the cracks in there. It's just common wear. There's a crack there. There's a chip. What I'll probably end up doing is just drilling a pilot hole in there and then forcing some glass down into there. This is this rifle stock that had the crystallization on it. You can see how well it really turned out. Some of this on top here is just lifting of the grain because it was really loose. Some light sanding should clean it right up. You remember that this stock was a little bit thinner because it had already been sanded prior to that, so you can see the difference in the actual grip here. I'm just going to have to take care not to remove too much material. Notice how arched it is on this rifle stock as opposed to this one here. Once again, these just a couple dings and dents, things that can be steamed out and then the grain lifted on. Here is the upper handguard. You see it cleaned up really nice. And the forward grip. There's just some dents. There's a chunk out of here. I'll probably backfill that, maybe use some of the sanding dust and just fill it in. All in all, guys, this turned out really well. Here's the in-between is just a simple rag with some water on it, and then use that to wipe some of the contaminants away, give it some dry time in between. We definitely don't want to soak these too awful much. To get some of the dents out, I just used a simple hand iron, clothing iron, damped the towel, and then pressed it onto that actual dent, lifting up to see the progress, then repeating, and that would lift a lot of those dents. Now you have to watch because some of the dents on there, if it cut the grain of the wood, it won't lift those up. You can see here this is one of the dents that just didn't lift up because it had actually cut the fibers. The same thing with the rifle stock here. But yeah, right here is where the iron just could not raise those up from steaming it. You would be able to, if you did it over top of the numbers, you would have some of the numbers lifting up, but that wasn't the goal of that entire process. This is just a little scrub brush I used to clean out the grain after everything had dried. Go over it a few times just to clean it out. I believe it was like a tire detailing brush you get at AutoZone or something like that. This is just a back piece of sandpaper. This will clean up some of the edges. What I'm going to do is just go along here, make sure I don't round off anything, keep the edges nice and sharp as possible. And the backing really helps with that. Same thing, if any large flat areas you don't want to really have an unbacked piece, you'll get a lot of waves in it. In between that, after the sanding, soak the wood down, use a heat gun, That'll bring up all of the wood grain, and then you kind of have to sand it back down to cut all those wood grains off, and then that will keep it from adding finish and having all that stuff raise up whenever you go to finish the rifle stock and give you a nice clean finish. So that's the cleaning of those stocks with the Stitchy strip. Look back for more videos on the progress of this and the repair of the wood. Thanks for tuning in, guys.